Erev Tov B'Tay. Haba Aleinu L'Tova. Next week is going to be Rosh Hashanah, which is going to be Monday night, and Tuesday and Wednesday. So it's coming up very, very soon. So we have to start talking about the halachot of Rosh Hashanah and the inyanim. So number one thing, right, for Rosh Hashanah, the most important mitzvah is the shofar. It's from the Torah. The Torah says you have to blow the shofar on Rosh Hashanah. All the other things are rabbinical, mostly. All the other mitzvot that we do. But shofar is very, very strong. And the reason is because we're judged on that day, So what happens is that if you blow the shofar, the Satan comes in, to the court to accuse the Jewish people of all the sins that they have. So if you blow the shofar, what happens is that the Satan is not able to accuse. He gets confused. He gets confused. He's not able to accuse. He comes in, all the sins. But when he hears the shofar, he gets scared. Why? Because he knows, right, that once the shofar is blown, when Mashiach comes, he's going to be killed, Satan. So he's scared, when he hears the shofar. Oh my God! It's time for me to go? That's it, right? He's scared about that. So because of the fear that he has, he forgets to accuse the Jewish people. He's not allowed. He forgets all the accusations. It's not teshuvah. It's mamash pachad, fright. That's what it is, Fright. So that's the thing. So we want to confuse him, to do the shofar, in order to, because if he's able to accuse you, can you imagine? He accuses everything. So it's very, very difficult, to pass that test, with the full accusation. Who can pass? Who's perfect tzaddik? Nobody, right? As Shlomo Melech said, right? There is no man that does not sin. We all sin. Yeah? We all have sins. So what? Who's going to say he doesn't have any sins? No such a thing like that. Okay, fine. So that's the reason why, it's very important. So we're going to hear the shofar Tuesday and also Wednesday, twice, right? The first time we're going to do Shechianu, also on the shofar, right? Shechianu. And second day we don't do Shechianu. Sfaradim, we don't do Shechianu. Only on the first day. Okay, fine. But the thing is, that in order to have the shofar, the proper effect, you have to know how to do it, So the person who's tokea has to learn the halachot. If he didn't learn the halachot, how does he know how to do shofar? Who taught him? Who taught you? Why? Because you heard, 50 years ago when you were a kid, you heard somebody doing it. It's not going to be enough, right? To do the job, you know what I mean? Yeah, when I was 12 years old, I heard somebody doing it, and that I learned from there. Yeah, that's not good enough. You have to learn the halachot because there's many details about this, So let's just go through the halachot a little bit, and to see what we're talking about, right? So the Gemara says, Masechet Rosh Hashanah, you have to do 9 voices, right? Tesha kolot. This is the main thing, right? So what does that mean? Teki'ah is one, right? The long one, too long, and then teru'ah, short pieces, and then teki'ah again, right at the end. So it's 3, right? 3. So you have to do it 3 times. This is why it's called 9 tesha kolot, 9 voices. But the thing is, there's a machloket, right, about what is teru'ah. There's 3 different opinions of what is teru'ah. One opinion says teru'ah is shivarim. We call that shivarim, right? That's according to the first opinion. Then we have another opinion which says it's going to be the teru'ah is 9 times you have to do that. That's the second opinion. Third opinion is they're both together, right? Both of them. Right? First, and then That's how you do, right? Teru'ah, 3 different ways. We're not really sure which is the right one, so we do to fulfill the obligation. We try to do all of them. But here's the thing. Yeah, I'm sorry.
You're forming.
Yeah, we have to give instructions. That's what we're going to do. So here's the thing, right? That this has its time. There's 2 different opinions also. Rashi and Tosfot. Listen to this now, right? According to Rashi, right? Rashi says like this: the teru'ah is the teki'ah, right? The long one is only like 3 notes, That's long enough according to Rashi. The teru'ah is two. Like this, two. And the tekiah again, right? Two. That's Rashi. Can you imagine? Very short. But Tosfot says no. Right? The teruah has to be 9 notes, Not right, so they're longer, right? What does that mean? It has to be two. But if you do like this according to Rashi, this is not teruah, this is tekiah. So you didn't fulfill your obligation. So therefore, which is the halacha, by the way? The halacha is like Tosfot, according to most poskim, according to most of the achronim, and also the minhag is like that in most places. There was one time in my life I saw, there was somebody in Briarwood, long time ago. I was in a yeshiva there. And there was this one Ashkenazi guy, he was doing like Rashi. I was like, what is he doing, this guy? I couldn't understand what he's doing, And then I realized, oh my God, he's doing like Rashi, I never saw anybody who does like Rashi except this guy. He did everything very short, two, like very short, everything short. Nothing long. This is Rashi, But Tosot, as we said, right, everything is long. So according to Tosot, the tekiah has to be 9 notes. Two, because the teruah is also 9 notes, so it has to be equal. It has to be equal, exactly. Right? So 9 notes tekiah, 9 notes teruah, and then another 9 notes is the tekiah again, right, at the end. So it's all 9, 9, 9. Like this, right? But since the teruah, one of the opinions, right, is longer, why? Because it's like two. This is longer, This comes out to be 18 notes over here. 18 notes. So therefore, since it's 18, the tekiah also has to be 18. So for this one, the tekiah has to be very, very long, 18 notes. You have to do all your breath, save all your breath. Has to be very long. 18 notes, it's a long one. But for the other ones, which are only 9, the tekiah only has to be only 9. So for this one has to be longer. You can do it longer, but shorter if you do. Lo yatzai dechollah. You didn't fulfill your obligation if you do it short. That's the thing, So you have to make sure, that the Tokea knows these rules. If he doesn't know these rules, people are listening, and each one, how it is, right? They're all getting emotional, they're crying, because of their sins, and some of them are thinking about vidui, right? According to Kabbalah, there's a vidui there, Maran Rabbi, he told us, you're not allowed to say this vidui, when they're blowing the shofar. You can only think about it. Why? Because it's hefsek. You're not allowed to say vidui in the middle of the shofar. Right? Only think. That's it. Think to do vidui. Think to do teshuvah. But don't talk nothing. You're not allowed to talk during the shofar. You have to listen. That's the thing, Don't talk, all kinds of things. I don't know. You're not allowed to do that. Who told you to do this kind of thing? There are some people, who think that they're mekubalim, they do this kind of this. This is not the proper way to do. Anyway, right, so that's the thing. So you got to make sure, right, you got 9, 9, 9, and then you got, right, for the longer one, you got to do 18. Long one. So you got to make sure everything is correct. So if you didn't do it like that, right, and if you didn't do like Tosfot, and you did like half like Rashi, half Tosfot, you didn't fulfill the obligation. It says Maran, if you do half like Rashi and half like Tosfot, you didn't fulfill your obligation. Not according to Rashi and not according to Tosfot. Neither opinion you didn't fulfill. That's the thing, you got to make sure you know what you're doing.
So we're going to do either way?
One or the other, right? But the truth is, the minhag is like Tosfot, so we don't do like, nobody does like Rashi, Everything's short, like this. Rashi, according to Rashi, it's like this, listen. Toot, 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 toot. That's Rashi. Nobody does like this. Even Ashkenazi they don't do. Everybody does like Tosfot, So that's the thing. Okay, fine. There's also another thing, which is important to know. That there is a machloket regarding the teruah, right? As we said, right? There's 2 different opinions. What is teruah? According to one opinion, teruah is again, right? Two. That's shvarim. We call that, right? According to the other opinion, it's like two, 9 times. Right? That's teruah. According to the third opinion, it's both of them together, right? Two. That's like this, right? But the thing is, the Ramban says you have to do the teruah in one breath. You're not allowed to like do twice. No, one. Gotta do everything together in one breath. The Ramban says if you don't do it in one breath, lo yotzai yedei chol. You need full obligation. So the Tokeh has to know this, you know. If he does it in two breaths, according to Ramban, no good, not kosher. Right? That's the thing, you know. You have to make sure the person who does the tekiyot has to be ben Torah, you know, Talmid Chacham a little bit, you know, at least a little bit, right? A little bit. Or the rabbi has to be watching him, you know, to make sure he does everything right. Okay, whatever. So, as we said, right, according to Ramban, you got to do the whole teruah in one shot. Now, here's the thing, right? Since one of them, according to one opinion, right, the teruah is very long. You got to do this all in one breath. You're not allowed to breathe in, you know, and take a rest. So, according to Ramban. So, according to this, you got to do everything, even the long one, in the long teruah in one breath. According to another opinion, right, which is Rabbeinu Tam, brought down in Tosfot, according to Rabbeinu Tam, you're supposed to do it in two breaths, right? This long one. In other words, you go like this, right? Like you take a breath, you know, in the middle, right? You got to do two breaths, according to Rabbeinu Tam, you know. So since there's a machloket between the Ramban and the Rabbeinu Tam, so what should we do? How is the halacha? So says Maran Shulchan Aruch, what you do is, you know, when they do the shofar, when they sit down, you know, everybody's sitting, right, for the shofar, the first one, right, which is after the Kriyat Torah, after they read the Torah, right, that one. There he says you should do like the Ramban, you know, do like the Ramban, the opinion of the Ramban, because that's the main one. That's the Torah from the Torah, the first one that we do, right. How many kolot do we have over there? 30, right? Shloshim kolot, right? So you got to do those, right? The teruah has to be in one breath according to Ramban. And then when we do in the chazat shots, right, in the musaf, again we do, right? So there, right, says Maran, do like Rabbeinu Tam, doing two breaths. You know, this way you covered both, right? Both opinions. That's the thing, you know. So Tokeh has to know this. He has to know these things. If not, not so good, Shelly Belly, not so good, you know. Right? You got to make sure, right, the guy knows what he's doing. If he doesn't know what he's doing, send him to yeshiva, you know, for a couple of years before he does shofar. What is he doing shofar for people if he doesn't know what he's doing? You got to learn the halachot. Okay, Bezrat Hashem. We will. Everything will be good. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen, amen. Rabbi Chanan Shomer, רצה הקדוש ברוך הוא להחזיק את ישראל, לפי חלקי ובא להם תורה ומצוות, שנאמר אדוני חפש, למען צדקו יגדיל תורה וידיר.